Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's video is all about things to do in lockdown, like my favourite things that keep me going in lockdown. Now, I live in Wales and I'm Welsh, so our lockdown is just ended. However, very likely we're heading back into it. That's just my perception. Anyway, the England lockdown has only just started, and I know lots of you are in England, so I thought I would do a little video of my favourite things at the minute that keep me going, because even though the lockdown in Wales is over at the minute, you still can't really do much and it's wiser to stay inside, so it's still all relevant. So that's what we're doing today. I did ask on my Instagram and people said they wanted to see it, so here we are. Should we get started? Number one thing to do in lockdown is TikTok. Like, it is the place to be, and you can waste hours on TikTok, and I know it's like you don't want to waste your hours. This year is for wasting our hours. Like, we have nothing else to do, so if you want to get a TikTok addiction, go for it. Everyone that's been like, oh, I don't really want to get TikTok, oh, I don't want to get it, I don't want to get it, has been so glad when they get it. So 100% go for it, get the app and just live your life. TikTok's amazing, and if you only watch TikToks on TikToks and you don't make your own, start making your own, because I kid you not, it changes TikTok. I mean, to be honest, I think I started making TikToks before I was watching them. Like, I got it and instantly was making them. But 100% I think it's way better when you're making your own as well. So just check it out. If you're one of them that's like, oh, I don't want to get it, just get it. No one's living their best life at the minute, so you may as well get it. On to books. So I've got a range of books actually that I would recommend. The first one is big. It's probably one of the biggest books I've read, and it was recommended to me by a friend, and when it arrived in the post I was like, oh my god, what is this? But it's actually incredible. It's a really old, my copy is really old. It's called Coming Home by Rosamund Pilcher, and it's like small writing. It is long. It goes with the title. It is the most homely book ever, and I read this in 4 days. So if you get into it, it's really great. Honestly, I loved this book. Basically following this girl growing up in the 1930s and 40s. And it's really good. Next, we have a series. This is something, I mean, Coming Home is light-hearted and really lovely, but this is something if you want a bit of comedy or something, and that is The Rosie Project by Graeme Simsion. Now, the first book is quite small. You can just read the first book, that's enough, but it is part of a series if you want a bit more. You've got The Rosie Project, The Rosie Effect, and The Rosie Result. So these books are about an autistic man. He's a scientist, he's super clever, but socially he's not quite there, and he's going on a mission to find the perfect woman. So because he's clever and a scientist and everything, he makes a database to find this perfect woman. It's the project to find the perfect woman, and the perfect woman may or may not be called Rosie. If you want an autobiography, my favourite autobiography series is Call the Midwife, of course. I absolutely love it. Call the Midwife by Jennifer Worth. If you've watched the programme, that's fantastic, but these books are also fantastic. There's 3 of them, I believe. There's others, but sometimes I think the stories are just repeating. So these are the 3 main ones: Call the Midwife, Shadows of the Workplace, and Farewell to the East End. 100% recommend these. They are great. It's really educational as well, because I think I can't remember whether, am I thinking of the right book, but I think these ones are fact checked. So you learn about all different parts of like medicine in the 1950s. If you don't know what it is, it follows all different stories of the patients that this nurse had in the 1950s. 100% recommend that. I mean, I recommend them all, otherwise they wouldn't be in the video. The next one we've got is, I don't think I have a copy, no. This was loaned to me by my auntie, and it's The Woolworth Girls. My auntie lent me a load of books, they're all amazing, but this is the one that really stood out to me. It was The Woolworth Girls, especially coming up to Christmas. It is such a good, like, festive, I mean, it's not all light-hearted, it's based in the war, but like there are a lot of festive bits to it, and it's basically about 3 girls, or mainly 3 girls, who are working for Woolworths, which is coming back to the UK, by the way, just saying, before the war, and it's just sort of following their stories. But it's a really good book, and it's I would say it's quite Christmassy. Ever since I read it, I've been excited for Christmas, and I read it in about June. If you want to see another video of book recommendations, they don't normally do that well, which is why I don't do them. But I have literally read probably about 100 books this year, so I could easily do another book recommendation video if you want to see it, but I'm not sure if people enjoy that. So let me know if you want to know more. So the next book is kind of like motivational. So if you're not really into reading, but you're into like self-development or something like that, this book is incredible. It's called Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King, and it's just like different small parts of the book about what kind of vibes you need in your life, different habits you should have, about making yourself a priority, accepting yourself, manifesting your goals, how to do that, and the challenges with pain in life. It's really good. It's a really good book, and the sections in the book are quite short. So if you just want like a little bit of wisdom now and again, it's a nice book to come back to, and I definitely recommend this. The next book, I think it's a kid's book, but I only read it this year, and it's really good. It's The Book Thief. I don't know why my copy is so huge. It's like, my copy of The Book Thief is really big. I'm not sure why, but it actually came from a school library. I didn't steal it because I didn't go to this school, but I ordered it online secondhand, and it's from Edinburgh Library, Nottingham Girls High School, and it's actually still got the library card in it, which is quite interesting. All my bookshelves are quite meticulously arranged, and I just destroyed them to do this video. Anyway, the next one is another fiction book. It's called The Flat Share, and it's about two people that are sharing a flat together, but one of them works nights and one of them works days, so the arrangement is they never actually see each other. So it's just about, well, obviously it leads to a bit of love. So that's what this book is, and it's really good. If you like any Jojo Moyes books, I love Jojo Moyes. I've read so many of her books this year. She's the one who wrote Me Before You, but she's written so many others. They're also all great books, but I just needed to whittle it down somehow. But if you like Jojo Moyes, I would recommend this book because it's very similar style. It's very similar to Me Before You. I mean, it's a completely different storyline, but it's got a similar vibe. It's Me Before You without the sad crying at the end. So, oh, this one I got for my birthday. It's called Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo, and it's definitely a book for you feminists out there. It's following the stories of all these different women in the world at the minute, in the UK at the minute, and they've all got their own journeys. Each chapter is devoted to a different woman, and you get their backstory, but somehow every single woman interlinks, so it's a really interesting read. It's basically showing the way in which all these different women are still united. Another non-fiction is A Good Time to Be a Girl by Helena Morrissey. So Helena Morrissey is like one of the richest women in the world. I actually was in the same room as her because she was doing a talk at my dad's work, and I happened to be visiting my dad's work at the time, so my dad booked me on to go see this talk, and it was really good. It's about how she managed to be a woman, a successful woman in business, and this book is basically about that as well, and it's really good. A Guide to Thriving at Work and Living Well. I actually read this last year, but I thought I'd throw it in now anyway. So that is all for books. That's a long thing. Now we're going to move on to shows and things to watch on telly. First of all, we've got Netflix. Some good series on Netflix. Gilmore Girls. I love that to eat with my lunch. No, I'm not eating the Gilmore Girls, to watch with my lunch. Dinner Ladies, you probably wouldn't click on this, but it's really good. It's a British comedy from the 90s, and it is so funny. It's just these dinner ladies just chilling out, having a good time. It's really homely and warming. I don't know, maybe it's because I grew up in like the early 2000s, like that's when, I don't know, when you're a toddler, that's when you're happiest. So anything from the late 90s, early 2000s really makes me feel at home. It's a really good show. It's a perfect, this is when I watch Dinner Ladies. If I've had a nightmare, I wake up and I put Dinner Ladies on to like calm me down. So it's a great show for that. Or if I go to bed and I'm like scared, I'll put Dinner Ladies on and I'll fall asleep straight away. Not because it's boring, but because it just puts you in a good mood. Similarly, so does The Vicar of Dibley. That's also on Netflix, recommend that too. And Gavin and Stacey, that's another one. That's completely different to the Vicar of Dibley and Dinner Ladies, but like that's another one. But everyone loves Gavin and Stacey, so you don't need to be told. Next, we've got The Crown. I'm really late to the trend of The Crown. I'm just on season 2. I've been watching it for over a year though, but I'm currently on season 2. It's a really good show. If you don't already watch it, I recommend watching it. Call the Midwife. Obviously, I'm a big Call the Midwife fan. On Netflix, they have all the seasons. Oh, they don't have the most recent seasons, but you can watch the most recent seasons on BBC iPlayer. But on Netflix, they have a lot of the seasons of Call the Midwife, and I just watch them on a loop. I just rewatch them and rewatch them. I watch them all on the telly when they come on, but just they're only on in January and February, so just for the rest of the year, it's quite nice to have something. So that I always eat in the evening if I'm eating my tea. That's a good one to watch. 100% Call the Midwife is just it's the best. It's the best. It's a great show. It's got the harrowingness of some sad storylines, but it's also so lovely, and everyone in it is so nice and so lovely, and I love that. I love that vibe. Okay, don't judge me for this one. I'm a big fan of The Next Step, I'll be honest. I think it's a great show to sit down after work, 4 p.m-ish, pop The Next Step on. Yes, it's a kid's show. Yes, the acting is questionable, but it's just great to watch. Like, who doesn't want to watch Margie drift into thin air? It's no more needs to be said. If you're like, The Next Step, put it on and scoff at me once you've watched it once, because I guarantee you won't be able to scoff them. Thank you. Also, my mum watches it, so I don't care what you have to say about it being a kid's show, because she is a fully grown adult and she's obsessed with it too. The next show was one I was absolutely obsessed with, and I watched the first 2 seasons in about a month, which is the fastest I have ever watched a show. Ackley Bridge. Now, I watched Ackley Bridge when it first came out on telly, and I hated it. I was like, this is not Waterloo Road. What the hell is this? This is horrid. But I watched it again the past couple of months, and I'm loving it. So Ackley Bridge, 100%. Love that show. Films on Netflix. The Holiday. I watched that the other day. That was really good. Patch Adams. Okay, I'll put a little warning with this one. There is a very scary scene in it, and it is terrifying and did keep me up till 5 a.m. So maybe watch it during the day, or watch it if you sleep with someone else, or just don't watch it if you're easily scared. But aside from that one scene, I smiled the entire way through Patch Adams. It is so heartwarming. I feel like that's what we need at the minute. We just need some good, proper, heartwarming films. So I've got a lot of these on the list. A few other heartwarming films that I'm not sure are on Netflix. I'm not sure where you watch them. It's either Netflix or Amazon Prime. But Swimming with Men is great. It's about a men's synchronized swimming team. Brassed Off is great. It's a really old film, but it's about miners who are also, they've got a brass band, and that's also heartwarming. I mean, who doesn't love a heartwarming film? Calendar Girls is a great one. I'm not sure it's on Netflix or Amazon, but it's usually on Film 4 at some point. It's on quite a bit. And another one is Military Wives. This one's on Amazon. I bought it as a premiere at the start of the last lockdown because it was supposed to be coming out in the cinema, but it wasn't, so it was quite expensive to buy as a premiere. But I'm not sure how much it is now, but it is so good. Military Wives is probably the top film of the year. Really, really good. It's about wives whilst the husbands are fighting in the war, in the army, so it's good. It's heartwarming, and like I say, I love heartwarming things. Oh, also I forgot to leave off the Netflix list, The Duchess. That's really funny. That was good. I recommend. Now on to Amazon. What do I watch on Amazon? Downton Abbey. That's probably the main thing I watch on Amazon Prime. If you've got Disney Plus or access to Disney Plus, watch Clouds. I warn you, it's going to be an emotional roller coaster, and you're going to cry from about 15 minutes in, but it's so good. It's such a good film. I didn't think Disney was capable of so much emotion, but it's about the song that goes and we'll go up in a life across the sun, we'll go up and then I'll climb a little higher. Obviously I'll have to stop singing because they're gonna think I've copyrighted that because I'm so good. I sound like the exact guy. But yeah, it's about that song. If you know that song, it was big in like 2012, 2013. It's about the true story behind that song, and let me tell you, it's a heart-wrenching story, but it's worth a watch. In terms of normal TV, obviously I watch Bake Off. I just looked at the clock and I've just missed Bake Off. Just as I was about to say that I watched Bake Off, I've just realised I missed it. I mean, I'm sure you know Bake Off, so you don't need telling. Another one, Educating Greater Manchester. There's a new season of that on at the minute, and there's also loads of previous seasons if you live under a rock and haven't heard of it, like Educating Essex, Educating Yorkshire, Cardiff, East End, Greater Manchester. I feel like there's one more, but I can't remember. That series has just started. That's really good. And I think that's all I've got for normal TV. Oh, like Sam and Billy Fair's The Mummy Diaries. That's always great. Real Housewives of Cheshire. Love that. Also, Kardashians is now on Netflix, so we're all winning at life. So there's all sorts of things to get your teeth stuck into. In terms of passing the time, just get some jigsaws. Just get some 1,000-piece jigsaws and knock them out. Bang them out the park. Love them. We've done 5 this year, or maybe 6. The last 1,000-piece jigsaw we did, though, we did it in a week. We did it in 6 days. Me and my mum every day just getting that jigsaw done. And then, worst thing ever, there was a piece missing. There was one piece missing. It was the worst day of my life. But luckily, there was a form with the puzzle. So we just filled in this form. I had to sketch a piece of the jigsaw, sent it off. 2 weeks later, bam, this morning, we get the piece sent in the post. So there was a missing piece, but they sent it to us. So even though it was the fastest record-breaking puzzle we've ever done, we had to wait a whole extra 2 weeks for this extra piece, but it was fine anyway, so we managed to complete that today. But 100% I recommend kicking everything off your dining table. You don't need your dining table really, do you? No, I didn't think so. And just whack a puzzle there and just get it done. Do the border first and then the rest Bob's your uncle. 100% recommend a puzzle. Do a Christmas one, because that's really festive. Next, my favourite YouTubers. Obviously, I love Megan J. Definitely subscribe to her. Thanks for that. Actual favourite YouTubers that I love watching at the minute, Dad for You Girls. I am obsessed. I don't know if the channel is for younger viewers, I don't know, but personally I love Dad for You Girls at the minute. Like, I am obsessed with their vlogs. They seem so cool. Like, if I was that cool when I become a parent, which I will never be that cool, but I just like to watch to think maybe if I had a different life, I could be that cool. Unfortunately, I'm not, but that would be the dream. They're really cool. What else am I loving at the minute? I just love watching Get Ready With Me's at the minute. So, oh, I've also just got into Molly May's YouTube channel. I never watched Love Island. I tried to get into it, but I never can. But Molly May's YouTube channel, I'm loving that at the minute. And also my all-time favourite YouTuber. Everyone knows who he is. He's probably the biggest person on YouTube. That's not why I'm telling you. I'm telling you because lots of people might think, oh, he's not for me. Because I used to think, oh, he's not for me. But now I'm obsessed with him. And it is the one and only James Charles. So if you think, oh, I'm not into makeup, oh, he's not for me, oh, something like that. No matter what your passions are, you will find them reflected in James Charles. He suits everybody. He suits everyone. So don't just think, oh, he's just a makeup channel, because he's so much more than that. So recommend. Otherwise, you're missing out in life. You really are. You really are. Okay, and I think that's it for today's video with things to keep you going in lockdown. And also go for a walk. I mean, kind of hypocritical, because I don't move at the minute, so I won't push you to go for a walk, but if you want to go for a walk, go for a walk. And I think that's the end of today's video. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you in next week's, or no, in a video in a few days time. So long, bye.